Welcome in. You're talking with the Meeples champion. And we are going in for a little check today with Barnes Noble. And here we are. We are at our board game section. Right off the bat, you can see that they have some of the newer games that are out. The Hunger is right on display. That's one that I've been meaning to try. And right next to it, you got One Night Werewolf. You know, that's a fantastic game for if you're looking for a group of people that haven't really gotten into the board gaming community, but they appreciate a nice, night of deduction and just having some fun. Horrified down the bottom there. I've played that a few times now. I'm not usually a big co-op person, but it is very well designed, fantastic art, definitely a great game for families. Like most of the time when you go into the Barnes & Noble, this side here is like all the little puzzles and stuff. Not something for me. I don't think most co-op gamers get into that, but that's fine. It's just a section they have. Now here we have all of our smaller games. You've got your Marvel United down there. We're turning around here. You're seeing Sushi Go Party, fantastic game, great for me for all levels. But these are lots of the smaller games that I think, for instance, Exploding Kittens, it's not necessarily meant for just core gamers. And in fact, I would actually argue that's more for the entry-level gamers. And then you've got your Unos, more your classics, Cover Your Assets down the bottom there. These are pretty simple games, more for kids or for, old school gamers. We jump to this side, you see a little bit more of the Sushi Go, you see a lot of the playing cards. Those are pretty generic. Now we're going to get over here again to some of the more heavy stuff. Now here you got Tiny Towns, you got Libertalia. Now that's second edition, newer art, not my particular favorite. You've got your Spirit Island, your Everdell, Sheriff of Nottingham, second edition. I haven't gotten to check that art out yet, but it's supposed to be pretty good, I heard. You've got down below there your Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Island. If you're into co-ops, those might be for you. Those aren't necessarily for me, but I do appreciate what they do if you have the right group to play with and if it's really something that you're into. And Blizzard Wizard's not one I know, so I can't really comment on that. But Tsuro up top there. Tsuro's a really good game that I think all levels can get into. Now we're going to jump over here to the left. And let's see. All right, you got Firefly. I haven't played that one before, but you got Patchwork. You've got a bunch. These tend to be a little bit more picture-y, puzzle-y type games that, may not be for everybody. Dune Imperium, there we go, and the old Dune. So that's nice. There's actually quite a few different types of Dune. Dune being in theaters recently, you see this specifically with a Target or a Barnes & Noble, where they get a bunch of games in because it's just the popular movie, so a whole bunch of things are made of it. Here's Villainous. That's great that it's in. It's got all of its expansions right there if you're looking for classic Villainous. We just passed a bunch of the Escape games. Those aren't for me, but some people love them. Now here we are. The center aisle is really the big one. We were just waiting for those people to move out so we could show you. Hues and Cues are in here. We just saw Raccoon Tycoon. These are, some nice games, but if you turn around on the other side, you got your Catans, you got your Strategos, you got your Ticket to Rides, your Lost Ruins of Arnak, Wingspan. I mean, these are big games. Azul, these are gamers' games. I just saw Terraforming Mars up top. I see Seven Wonders Duel. And even over here, we've got all of our Dice Throne. Looks like this is Season 1. They have got quite the collection of games. And I think we're going to talk about this a little bit more once we get it back outside. But why don't we just kind of shut it down for now and head on out? are back outside. Lovely day here in Burlington, Massachusetts, which is where we visited our very first Barnes Noble and very first board game store in general. And what did we think? How did it go? They have a really good selection. There is a lot of games for beginners, a lot of games for kids, a lot of games for families. I think that they did a really good job on a display setup that allowed you to walk in and say, hey, go to the left and here's some small stuff. Go to the middle and here's some core stuff. Go to the right and here's some new stuff. There's definitely games for all types, and I think that this was an overall success. So definitely give them a chance. Check it out. I've been impressed most of the times that I go into a Barnes & Noble. It's not often that I go in and feel like there's nothing to go and pick up. And I think that's the important thing about having a chain that actually gives you real options. For me, any chain I've been into, Barnes & Noble always tends to be the lead for me on a regular basis. Now, that's not to say that you can't walk into a random, say, Target and have a better selection depending on the location you've been to. But on all the Targets and all the Barnes & Nobles and in all the other types of chain stores I've walked into, Barnes & Noble, far and above the rest, seems to maintain a consistency of a large selection, a variation of selection, and you feel like you can actually find it game for yourself, for your friends, for your family, all levels, all types. So big thumbs up from me. Check out Barnes & Noble here in Burlington, Massachusetts, and I will see you next time. You have been talking with the Meeples Champion. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.